Hit it, Jimmy.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is a perfect day with my gravelly voice here at Shea. Why? Because I live alone and haven't spoken today. It's a good day for the Jimmy Palumbo Show, show number 194. Good evening, everybody. It is a perfect day here at Shea. The barometer is steady. We're going to get this one in. Show number 194, the Jimmy Palumbo Show, post-Thanksgiving Day show here from the Omni in downtown Atlanta. And, of course, behind the glass, multi-podcaster himself, your friend and mine, Dave Sturcio. Dave, how are we doing this morning? Afternoon, whatever the hell it is.
I'm doing great. I would have been doing great 7 minutes ago, but things happen.
Things happen. I got caught
you're
in
just a busy guy.
You know what? I couldn't find. You see how you sent the link twice?
Yeah, I sent it twice. I thought to myself, did he get the link? I don't even know.
I couldn't find it. I was going back. I keep on thinking because your link comes up as Chris Gucci.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
Yeah, for mine it does. Yeah. That Gucci with a quick 3 to open this one up here.
Yes.
Show number 190. I got to give Chris a call. I haven't talked to him in a while. Show number one.
He's too busy for everybody.
He's too busy. He's in witness protection program. Show number 194. That means, for you Yankee fans, Yandris Gomez, who was in the bullpen.
Jesus.
Pitched like 4 innings this year. Righty pitcher. Also, everybody's favorite, potential Hall of Famer from the Giants years ago, Cedric Jones, number 94. Might have played during your era there. Cedric Jones, I think, had 4 tackles. And, of course, Charles Haley and DeMarcus Ware. Now, I know DeMarcus very well because we did those basketball games back in the day when I announced, and he was the only guy. I was massive ball breaking. And DeMarcus Ware has that fake mad at you thing. And I didn't really know him. And I was kidding around, doing anti-cowboy stuff over the microphone. And he came over to the table, and I know he knew it was part of the show, but there was a split second I was like, hey, I didn't really run this by DeMarcus Ware. I was like, and Palumbo is down. I thought he was going to punch me in the face. I think I said something. I don't know what I said. But those basketball games are funny.
Great.
Those of you don't know, I used to host a thing at a Toms River Arena where the older Giants played the current Cowboys in basketball, which was nuts. But of course, at the top of the show. Now, this show, I got a baseball card, a little unique. And I think I'm going to say the name first, and I'm going to see what you react and see if you thought like I did. Jose De Leon. Anybody?
De Leon, for whatever reason, does ring a bell.
Because there was 2 Jose De Leons. One plays kind of now, and then there's this guy here, the old Cardinal, Jose De Leon, the 91 card. Again, this is why I do this show. This is why. Because I think this guy should have his own show, but he can't because he's dead. But if he there's podcasts in heaven. Good evening, everybody, live from the clouds here. St. Peter coming over. It's a good one. And St. Anthony getting involved here. He'll be back.
So when they do that, when there's a game or a podcast or anything that's going on in heaven, do they still thank God, or they point to him? I would want to thank that guy right over there.
Right over there. And of course, sitting in the big chair to my far right. What happens what if they're talking about a schedule in heaven? Of course, the Cowboys have a huge schedule. They got to go down to hell next week, and that has been really rough on some of the Angels. I was talking to St. Anthony, and he said it's very tough down there.
And next week on Sunday Night Football, it is none other than heaven taking on the Purgatory Pirates here on Sunday night.
Now, Purgatory is always on the NCAA bubble, but they just haven't gotten in there. You know what? You can't get in at 18-12, and you just can't get to that 20th win. But, of course, hell is always tough. A very good defense. They don't score much.
And they're just always on fire. Always on fire.
Of course, heaven here has got 17 Super Bowls. But God looking over, every now and then, St. Anthony's furious with the call.
And hell would have such a better chance if they just changed Jerry Jones from being their owner. They would have such.
Can you imagine? That's so funny.
Well, he did sell his soul in 1995, so therefore that's why he's there. So,
but
anyway, nice little bit there.
He sold his soul. First of all, Tom Coughlin. Let's see. When everybody's dead, let's see the ones who have trouble. Going to have trouble getting into heaven. Tom Coughlin, the Maras, and Jones, because whatever they did to beat Tom Brady twice, somebody cut it. Jones, I think Jones he'll probably die before the Mara. But like Jerry Jones is definitely going straight down. He's like, I know, 4 little Super Bowls, I get it. One trade.
I guarantee you, he won't sign a single devil free agent.
But Jose De Leon, this guy, I think in the history of my show, this guy truly stunk. You know why? He pitched a long time. His record as a starter, I'm trying to think about that, is 86-119. That's brutal. That's like, it's hard to last in the league.
I was just gonna say, how can you even become a journeyman with a record?
Right. Well, first of all, his ERA was 3.76. So I'm guessing he played on shitty teams. He started 264 games, played with Pittsburgh, White Sox, St. Louis, Philly, and Montreal. He's from the Dominican Republic, but he has things that, again, this is why I love doing this. He lost 19 games twice. Think about that. Like, can you imagine if a guy in the Yankees 2 years ago lost 19 and then last year lost 19 games? We would be like, and this guy, he's a loser. Every time he pitches, our team doesn't win, which is brutal. He 89, his best year, he was 16-12, and thank God for that, because his record would have been even worse. In 93 ALCS, he pitched 2 games, 4 innings, 1 earned run. So how
does a guy like that make a postseason roster?
I guess it was I don't know. He made $2 or $3 million. He was like a decent, which is crazy. He was drafted by the Pirates in the 3rd round. He was traded for Bobby Bonilla at one point.
Okay.
He was traded for Lance Johnson and
Bobby One Dog Johnson.
Yeah, and Bobby Thigpen. And of course, sadly, he died of cancer this year in February at 63, a couple years older than me. But like, this guy I looked at some of the years and it was like his record sucked.
He saw the invite to the Jimmy Palumbo show and said, "You know what? Cancel the treatment. We're done."
I know. I don't want to speak ill will of the dead, but I think even some of the, I don't know, St. Francis is like, who's coming? De Leon. Could you imagine? If you're
a good dude, clubhouse guy.
Can you imagine if you're in heaven, okay, and you're aware of who's coming into heaven? Think about me. I know I'll be like, So if I see a cowboy come in or some shitty, like any Rutgers player, I'm like, oh, he stunk, man. Do you get judged in heaven by how shitty you are as a fan? Like, or do you lose your fanship?
You would think that God is a sports fan, or at least I thought so for a while until about 95. And then, I don't know. Maybe you do get,
because isn't heaven supposed to be like pleasurable and all happy, right? But I'm telling you right now,
if you stick at a sport, maybe you just don't get in. Yeah. You know what? It's funny because there is rumors today that I believe the Red Sox or the Mets, I think it was the Mets, that are looking into Clay Holmes as a starter, right? So like,
I hope he goes to the Red Sox.
But somebody like that, like Clay Holmes, probably a really good person, right? And he's at the pearly gates, and he's like, "Hey, God, man, it's so great to meet you." And God's like, "Look, at the pearly gates, St. Peter is supposedly at the pearly gates as well. Uh-huh. What if he's like a little bit of the bouncer? He might be like, "Hey, Clay, man, are you kidding me?" Like, and what if like if me and you were there up and I'll be there before you, but if I'm up there and you come in, I'll be like, "Oh, that fucking cowboy faggot doing his shit. They still haven't won it." And then you come in and all of a sudden I'll be like, imagine me talking to you and you're no longer a Cowboy fan. Like, Jimmy, I don't care. I'm in heaven. I don't care. I'm like, Cowboys lost by 25 today. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. Your soul can't die that much with a Cowboy. No. I know damn well a couple of
like Greg Schiano will come in. I'll be like, oh my God, Greg.
Did you see him dancing? We'll get into that. But
Yeah, that's another. Listen, best coach in America, except between 12 and 3 on Saturdays.
I don't know what I said so wrong, but Tyson Hogan coming in with a damn Dave. I've said so many wrong things in the last like 5 minutes. I don't even know
said a lot of wrong things in the last 4 days. It's tough to gather that up. But yes, so that's it. Jose,
39 years.
Jose De Leon, and that is it. I know you don't have a card. By the way, are we hearing from Madison? Are we hearing from Madison today?
We are hearing from Madison today. She sent me a video at 12:40.
Madison,
that was fun.
You know what? Madison, you're listening. You suck. I mean, what are you doing? You got all week to do this. I'm giving you now. I'm not giving you the opportunity of a lifetime. It's just the Jimmy Palumbo show. But come on, girl. I watch it. Again,
she sent me raw footage, and I spiced it up a little bit for her. So, you know,
I'm going to give her shit at the Palumbo Christmas party. Like, what do we do? All I see is pictures of you and your friend's party on Instagram. And it's 20 minutes for the show. Thank God I was up.
When's the Palumbo Christmas party? Where do I have to go?
Maybe I'll make you show up. The 21st, I believe it is.
There it is.
So, all right. Well, of course, there's Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
And at this point, as a matter of fact, I gotta go online or something. We are. This is El Garbage time.
We'll put something together for the Christmas season. Hey, you're feeling like you want to give a gift? Give the gift of $3 a month.
That's right. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll cut a deal with Colonial Penn. You'll get like life insurance or something. For $3 a month, you get to watch the Jimmy Palumbo show and get health insurance. Of course, Patreon, we are mired. 44, we're stuck. But I got to give a shout out to some of my boys. Greg Casalino. I got to give a shout out to Mike Caprio. We got some late breaking news here from the Omni. Later on during the NFL Stinks part of the show that he sponsors. And also James Kanowitz, my website guy, because he helped me out. I'm getting a new website, although the guy said it would be done 2 weeks ago. Here we are.
Was he work for 624 Production?
I don't know. He must be friends with Tom and Chris Cucci. I
finally signed out of his Instagram. I was just so tired of getting DMs about because I don't read them, but sometimes they'll pop up like while I'm trying to scroll my own shit. And because I control it, there'll be so many people coming in like, hey, this project is fun. Hey, project. I want to reply to them like, hey, this is Dave. I run the social media. Fuck off until Beer League is done. Bye.
Poor Tom takes a beating.
I love
Tom.
Tom.
Patreon, of course, one of our favorite sponsors here from the Omni, and this is to all my fans out there, if they are fans, or really to all my family members. I think I do the show just for my family. I really do.
It's a weekly Christmas party.
It's it. It's a weekly show. Nobody in my family can say, I haven't talked to Jimmy in a while. Just listen to the show.
There it is.
I don't have 11 members anyway.
Sometimes that's how my dad keeps up with shit that I do. He's like, oh yeah, I heard that on the show the other day.
Okay, there you go. And we're going to get more about your show in a minute. So it is OxyMagicUSA.com. Listen, this place is awesome. They did my carpeting. It's owned by Tom and Natalie and DeMeo, and it's OXYMagicUSA.com. Don't forget about the Y. Why? Because odds are, you know what? I really want someone to call and get a carpet thing so I can, shove it up his ass when I play pickleball. I think I'll see him Thursday. And that's how Jimmy deals with his sponsor. When I get a sale, I'm going to shove it up your ass. Now, Tom's a good guy. He totally would laugh at the stupid shit I'm saying right now. But this is awesome. The guy comes to the house. There's no hoses all over the place. Some really great people. They got locations all over the United States, actually, a bunch in New Jersey. It dries quickly. My carpets look awesome. I probably have to get it done once a year now because I have these light beige carpeting right when you walk in the door, so it looks like it's solid.
My kid's playroom is beige. You've seen the playroom,
yeah.
And it's like I actually said it. I said it out loud to my wife the other day. I was like, "Hey, Jimmy's got Oxy Magic back as a sponsor, so we should probably give him a call because we need some serious work done."
No, it's all. I know you can't. You bought the wrong carpet. I moved in. The carpeting was here. But you probably should wait for a little. As the kids get a little older, it doesn't get as shitty.
I'm gonna turn everything black.
Yeah, black is right. Especially those little. How about those little? Did you get involved with those little puffy Cheerios that are not the real Cheerios? They're in like a canister.
No. My son is an absolute savage. He wants. Hey, Miles, what do you want for breakfast? All of them. And I'm like, what does that mean? I have to pour, no bullshit, every morning. I pour 4 different boxes of cereal
all in the bowl
into one bowl. And he's like, I don't want milk. I want it dry. Okay. Walk away for 3 seconds. Dad, I want milk. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, do that.
That's because the top of his roof of his roof of his mouth is completely charred up. But anyway,
thank you, Wheat Checks.
That's why you got to go to Oxy Magic. It dries in 1 to 2 hours. It's all green. It doesn't smell, and it really doesn't. I just got it done a couple weeks ago. Good people, 80 locations nationwide. And if you want to someday own your own location,
I heard there's a brand new location coming to Mahwah, New Jersey.
Yeah, there's one either in Mahwah or Denellen. We're not sure.
Gotta meet somewhere in the middle. Maybe around the Piscataway area. We'll go clean carpets before Rutgers games.
Yeah, right. Cool. Hey, dude, we only do carpets between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. And so go to Oxy Magic. Really good people. OxyMagicUSA.com. OxyMagicUSA.com. Just to prove to Tom DeMeo that I'm not a complete jerk off.
That's it.
So that's Oxy Magic Day at Shea. Now my weight, of course, through holiday weekends, I thought it was going to be Butterbean, Bone Crusher Smith, but I held serve. It was 210 exactly. I think the week before I was really like 210.5. So I was like 210, but we'll call it even. And let me tell you, I ate like a pig Thanksgiving. We'll get to that.
I cannot believe you're 210 pounds.
Dude, I am. Dude, I'm like, like me and Tyson.
Like in the gut? Where are you carrying it?
What's his name? Luke Paul. I'm in the ring with him. You know, I'd pull up over I'd throw more punches than Tyson would.
Luke Paul. It's Jake Paul, but whatever.
Jake Paul, Luke Paul. Isn't he a country singer? Jack Bryan?
That's Luke Bryan. Jesus Christ.
There we go. I don't know.
What would you do without me, dude?
They all stink. I got to give a shout out to Louis Conaseca, who passed away at 99 years old. Now, you were just before your time, but Louis Conaseca coached St. John's. I don't know if you know who that is. He had a real Irish face. He coached St. John's for 100 years. He was your classic, like you come to the Garden, you watch basketball. It's the only place to be, you know. And he did Mullen and against Georgetown and Ewing and all that part of the Big East. Awesome Big East.
99, you said?
99 he died, yeah.
Wow.
And my buddy Bruce Beck over at NBC did a really nice piece on him. I got to reach out to Bruce. It was really nice.
Wait a minute. You know Bruce Beck?
Yeah. You know why? You know how I know Bruce Beck?
Through Steve Venditti?
No. Dude, you forget. I'm way older than you.
Yeah, no, I know.
Live from Colonial High School Baseball, TV3 with Paul Spahala and Bruce Beck. You remember? You don't remember TV3, God. Bro. Your dad, if your dad's listening, your dad just drove off the road. Because they used to do TV3 was like the local. They used to do baseball games. It looked like one camcorder behind home plate. You couldn't see anything. Like the right fielder and left fielder were not in the screen. And they would do the game. It was Bruce Beck. He was a rookie, young. He had to be. I'm talking about 1982, 81, yeah, but really.
It's just so funny because when I worked with the Giants with Steve Venditti, that was like a little bit of an inside joke. I don't know if Venditti remembers this, but like there would be like there was a show called Giants Access Blue, and they were on.
He did all that shit. Yeah,
I helped with that show, and it was like Howard Cross and a couple guys, and then like they would roll off a bunch of names, and then the last name was there, and all of a sudden his face popped up, and he goes, "And me, Bruce Beck."
Yeah. It's so great. Listen, I watched him grow from TV3, Woodbridge Colonia. We'll be right back, and he ended up doing some guest spots on WNBC Nightly News. And next thing you know, he's been a regular on NBC.
He's a journeyman. He's been a journeyman.
He also has done Giant shows, range. Yeah. He's done it all. He is a pure New York guy. A lot of people know who he is.
Yeah.
But he did a beautiful piece, which he was nominated for an Emmy for it, on Louis Conaseca about during the pandemic. He visited Louis to his house with a mask on, and Louis couldn't come out. He was on top of the stairs, the porch there. And he did a nice thing. Louis, you remember me? You helped me out here. Louis was talking to him. I love you. And then when he signed off, Bruce Beck must have been really close with Conaseca, and he really was like cheering up. So I got to reach out. It was a beautiful piece. So Louis Conaseca, God bless. Speaking of basketball, are you hoops? Now, since last we shouted nonsense on this show, which is anybody who takes the show seriously, wrong show. But Rutgers basketball. Look. We beat Notre Dame on the night of it last week by a tough game. And Harper, this guy Dylan Harper, man, I'm telling you, he's like, this guy is going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Sadly, he won't go to the Knicks. Well, maybe the way they play now, but
No.
I'll get to that in a moment. They lost a real tough one to Alabama, down by 2, finger roll by Harper, didn't go in. Then Texas A&M, they're ranked like 23rd. They lost by like 2 points there. So their record is 5-3. They have one shit loss to Kennesaw State, but the other 2 losses are like what you consider good losses, I guess. But they got to straighten out. They got Ohio State this weekend on Saturday.
How many losses can you get without it being one of those things where you're just like, we're not even on the ball?
No, well, basically Rutgers has to, if they beat Columbia, Seton Hall, and Princeton, right, that'll be 8-3. If they can go 8-3 in non-conference, they got to go 12-8 in league. The Big Ten's a bitch in basketball. There's teams coming. But you know what? I think this might be the year where Rutgers has like young but like real talent. So they're either going to fade away because they can't play together and they can't handle. Because you know, high school you play what, 12 games. This would be like, game number 26 and the travel. It's tough on freshmen. But I think if they can go 12-8, they'll make the tournament. But if they don't, if they only go like 11-9, they're going to be a real bubble team.
Refresh my memory, just because I'm not as avid as a Rutgers basketball fan. But when's the last time they were in the tournament?
2 years ago.
They were, right? I remember.
Yeah, he made the tournament 3 times, but COVID wiped out the one tournament. So he would have really made it 3 times. But we haven't made it the last. Well, 3 years ago, I lie, and we got beat in the first round by like the kid from Notre Dame just shot like 90% from 3, and we got beat by 2 points. But yeah, they got the kid Bailey, Ace Bailey there. He's skinny and young, but he's a player. We just got to get him going. Got to watch the game, see what's going on. But all our losses, except for the one shit one, we're tough teams, so we'll see what happens. Also, love to see UConn. They lost 3 games in a row, which everybody loves that. Fuck that guy, that prick. Anyway,
Hurley?
I can't stand him.
You don't like Hurley, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. He just says stupid stuff. I don't know. You know what? Must have been they won. What team wins the NCAA tournament? Every game they win by 15. There's no buzzer beater like, you are going to this.
So you're just mad because they're dominant.
Of course.
Okay.
Why do you think I hated the Cowboys in the 90s? When I was in my youth. Now, RU football, last we spoke, they came off a brutal loss to Illinois. But you know what? I watched the game. I was at a barbecue watching the Michigan State game with an outdoor television, freezing my ass off. In
barbecues in the
outdoor, they had. It's a thing it's a tradition at this guy's house, and they do it every year as like a thank you. Well, he used to do it in high school. Now he just continued it, and all wives there and everything. And he had the TV outside. And listen, I think Rutgers played a complete game. Michigan State, let me tell you, listen, Rutgers sucks in the Big Ten, but any Michigan State fan out there, just go away. I think we've beaten you guys like 5 times since 1980. Like, what? We have, like, we do not have a problem with Michigan State. Basketball is another story, but football, like, please, we beat you guys. We beat you on the road. I think it's the 3rd time we won a road game against Michigan State. Last year we beat them. And Michigan State stinks. Sam Grasso chime in. I agree with that. But Rutgers played a good game, man. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. Defense played well. Just a complete solid game. They're 7-5. Now we got to wait. I think they're either going to Arizona.
I saw 3 projections, 3 different opponents.
I want to play West Virginia.
One being Texas Tech. One being
I hate that.
Shit, what was the other one? Now I'm forgetting. Texas Tech. That was the one that stood out to me. I was like, oh shit. I was like, Texas Tech. That wouldn't be.
That would be a challenge. I want to play West Virginia. That was one of the things out there because I hate West Virginia.
What though? Given the weather and the elements, that they play great. They played a very good game. Manungai had another one. He finished his year really solid.
He's projected.
I jumped the gun in the beginning of the year. I'm like, you never know about his Heisman candidacy.
Especially running backs. It's tough to win that. But listen, I think I'd love to see. I wonder if I guess the Giants are locked up with some of their young backs they got, but if he'll be available to all. The Manungai is fun because I'm a fan, but he'll be available to every team. When you don't go in the first round, that means when you get to that second round, everybody, the Cowboys could get him, the Giants could get him, Jets. You're available to everyone. Odds are, though, since the Giants will be picking 33rd, 34th, They may not take a running back that early, but
no, I think there's actually Tyrone Tracy Jr. is actually very good. Like,
yeah, I don't know what they're going to do there, but but listen, Rutgers played well, 7-5. I can't really complain if they won the Illinois game, but the Washington game was close. So really, 7-5 is really where they landed. My only negative on this year was we didn't play anybody good. We played only one team with a winning record, and next year we play.
That's the year, yeah. Before you get into rattle off who when you play nobodies, that's
the year you got to strike.
Like 9-3.
Like Indiana had a shittier schedule, and Penn State didn't have that strong of a schedule. But the thing is, it's like we play next year, like Iowa, Oregon.
It's all back to normal.
Penn State and Ohio. The only team we don't play is Michigan. And it's like
that's the team you might want to play.
Yeah, maybe. Those are 4 games that's like, oh man. But you know what? It depends on, we're going to lose a couple guys in the portal. But I've noticed in the last few years, the guys we lose, they don't do anything. But we have to, Shiano has to get somebody. They have to get a tight end or something. They got to get somebody. The Ohio State Michigan game, I just can't get enough of watching Day lose. I can't. Dude, they are so cocky. And now they got 2 losses. And I don't understand. I know it's the top 12, but they're like, well, Ohio State, no matter what happens here, they're in. Like, what do you mean? You lose against a shitty Michigan stinks. I know it's a rivalry game, but they stink. Matter of fact, we might even be ranked higher than Michigan. You gotta, no, you're out. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus across the Twitterverse. Is that they all hate that coach, and he does.
Let me tell you something.
He has a hateable, punchable face. Absolutely.
Yes. However, he only gets 5-star recruits, and he only loses 0.5 games a year. Okay, so like if you look at his career,
big one. This is a big one.
That's a big loss, no doubt. Penn State, of course.
How great was this? I mean, it's not great for the school or the community, but like the
fights and everything. You know what, dude?
You tried to plant your flag.
You can't do that. And we know that from Terrell Owens. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's such a jerk. Unless you're Rutgers, then you can do it because, like, we'll be so stupid. The players will go, oh, let them do it. They never win anything. Like,
they're a Make-A-Wish team. Let them.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what will happen, though? The guy will go to plant the flag, and he'll catch, like, Monungai's heel, and then the flag will go and knock over the quarterback's head.
We were going to have Monungai for the bowl game, but he's out with an Achilles.
He's out with Achilles due to a flag planted. But no, listen, not a bad season for Scarlet Knights.
No, for now.
Now, Thanksgiving, Giants, Cowboys.
Before we get into the NFL, you want to get to Madison?
Yeah, let's bring Madison in. Madison's
right,
my niece, and she wants to be a sports reporter. Well, she is a sports reporter, and let's see what she has to say.
Take it away, Madison.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the second episode of A Minute with Madison. And this week, let's talk about how the Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, has completely fallen off. He's been having a difficult season, but this past weekend against the Eagles, he missed 3 different kicks, 2 field goals, and 1 extra point, which is a total of 7 points. And when you're playing against the Eagles, that cannot happen. Tucker now sits at 19 of 27 on his field goal attempts, and he now has a kicking percentage of 70%, which is a career low for him. Not only is he affecting the Ravens, but he's affecting me. He's affecting my mom. We both have him in fantasy, and I was lucky enough to have him last year as well. He had a great season. I picked him up again this year, and he is not living up to the expectations. Coach Harbaugh says that he is not going to make any changes at this time, but we'll have to see, not this week, but the following week after, if Tucker is able to bounce back against the New York Giants.
All right, Madison with an interesting point there with Marshall Tucker.
I've never seen a bigger kicker fall from grace. This dude, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Okay, but didn't the Jets kicker in the beginning, wasn't he a legendary kicker for a long time? I tell you one thing about kickers. They should, instead of doing a documentary on quarterbacks and wide receivers, they should do a documentary called Kickers, because kickers can be like, he has hit 170 field goals in a row, and then all of a sudden, he has not made a field goal since last June. Why do they go from being like, I guess it's got to be that you just swing in your leg for probably since your freshman year in high school, and also mentally.
Mental, bro. It is a mental cluster F when it comes to these guys. I feel like they get in each other's heads. When you miss one kick and you feel like, it's just the yips, it's a big game or something.
No. Matter of fact,
that's a lot of misses for him.
Let me ask you this. Maybe we'll ask some fans if they're listening. Is like in the history of kickers, we'll say the last 20 years, because you go back beyond 20 years, the kickers were like, Pat Summerall kicking it forward.
The kickers were kicking with no shoes on.
Right. But has there ever been a kicker that like awesome, and retired?
I'll tell you right now.
The guy in the Patriots,
all the way through?
Yeah, never like, he didn't end up on the Jets, is what I'm saying.
Mike,
did anybody like ride out?
I honestly, every kicker that has ever been that good has fallen off.
I know. I guess that's how you.
Oh my God, it was the greatest thing we've ever seen as football fans. Martine, Automatica, Grammatica.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL celebrating, and he was never the same again.
That's unbelievable.
That is insane to me.
The
Cowboys have a great kicker, but even he is human.
Right, but I'm talking about a guy. Listen, there's a lot of kickers that have a year or two. I'm talking about a guy like the Cowboys. What was the guy in the Cowboys? Was it still on a team a couple years ago?
No,
he didn't miss.
It was Dan Bailey. He was really good, and then we let him go, and he actually fell off. Like he fell off.
Great. See, maybe they saw something
like that.
I know they register every kick in practice. Somebody's chart. Somebody must go. Anybody notice this guy hasn't got near like in July? Probably Steve Venditti's like, hey, this kicker stinks. But the Giants Cowboys, I know you have a different take on it. I will tell you this. I've been saying this all. I'm anti the way the NFL games are now. But you only see it when your team stinks because you're like, God, these are terrible football games. The Giants are just so dreadful. And I thought they were going to get blown out. But the funny thing is the Giants are so bad, but they didn't get blown out because the Cowboys are incapable of blowing anybody out. However, the NFL
the score wasn't really indicative of the game itself. Like,
I disagree there. Take away that one pick. And by the way, when the Giants batted 5 balls, they landed softly on the turf. Cowboys bat a ball, it catches the same guy goes in, please. Anyway, but listen, I think the Cowboys stink too, and I had a little preview on the stinks list. However, 5-7, you ain't out of it. So 5 games ago, I think you're a game or 2 back, maybe. I don't know what the time. 2 games back, but your schedule stinks. You play a lot of shitty teams. I think there's one or two good teams there.
This one coming up is the Bengals, and they're as bad as they are record wise. They're very, very good offensively.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot. What I'm saying is they play a lot of 5-7. And
all of a sudden, Madison's Panthers are playing very well.
Right. So but the bottom line is, listen, the NFL, and I think the Giants did it one year. About maybe 8 years ago, they won their last 4 and they somehow got in. But to me, the NFL is 17 games. They're 5-7. I think they stink. I think they could finish 5-12, but at the same time, you get hot a little bit. You win, you go 6-7, and now all of a sudden everybody's listening to McCarthy or not listening to him. And as long as until you're out of it, like if they lose this week and they're 3 games out before to play, that's tough.
Yeah, that's it.
But listen, they're alive. But there's some hull damage with the Cowboys, a different kind of hull damage than the Giants. I don't know what to do. The Giants to me are so bad that I was in a discussion about the draft with my nephews at Thanksgiving. I don't even know. I was like, first I was like, I want to get Shador. Let's bring the circus to town. Then I was like, I don't know. Then I'm Cam Moore. Then I'm like, maybe we should just go linemen. Why don't we draft 8 linemen? Then I'm like, well, our secondary stinks. Why don't we go secondary guys? And then I'm like, if I was the GM, I'd be like, I would publicly say on draft day, I don't know what we're gonna. It's just it really.
I think there's one way the Giants should go, and it's the quarterback. Like it has to be. Like
I guess so. But what do you do the rest of the draft?
Unless you want to stopgap and you want to draft the best player available at number 1 overall because that's where they sit right now. Then Hunter might be the guy, and all of a sudden you have Hunter and Neighbors, and you're like, oh shit! But now who's throwing them the ball, right? But you have an opportunity to go.
Yeah, but see if you get Hunter,
like a Jameis Winston. If you want to bring him in for a year just to be, the stopgap between.
Yeah, but then you may never have a chance at a quarterback if you go 10-7, 9-8.
I don't think Jameis Winston gets you 10-7. I mean, like he fights and he crawls and he.
But does he get you 3-14?
You're not going to get the number 1 overall pick again, and that's why you can't fuck this up, right? And I think,
but I don't. But the quarterbacks is shitty this year. It's Cam Ward or Sanders. That's it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's also why you have to just double down, and you can't come back with the same regime. You have to fire everybody. Joe Shane gone.
I think they should all go. And anybody, I thought when the Giants signed up for Hard Knocks, I was like, okay, they're doing the preseason thing. I will be shocked. I thought it was better for the Giants before the show went on. Now I realize you're much better off doing the preseason Hard Knocks, because it's just about who you're going to cut, some feel good stories. When you give access to behind the curtain, that is brutal. I mean, Shane looked like an asshole. Dable looked like an asshole.
Viral clips for the rest of their lives, considering how much Mara was so mad about the Barkley thing. And then the best part about this is Joe Shane's asking his son, "Hey, who should we draft?" And he goes, "You should really get Jaden Daniels." And he's like, "Nah." You know,
how about when he brought up Jaden Daniels? You got Jones coming in this year, and no one thought he was going to be this bad, right? And they brought up in front of Dable about Jaden Daniels, and Dable without hesitation, "Oh yeah, definitely take him." Like there was no, and that right away, that means he was telling his quarterback, "You're not my guy." And then
everybody
blames. I don't blame Shane for the Barkley thing. Well,
it's hard not to.
Let me tell you something, John Mara, you little pussy. You cannot go into a room and go, "Oh, I'm gonna be a little aggravated." You walk in and say, "Hey, sign Barkley. Talk to you later. I got a luncheon for the American Society of whatever," and you walk out. You don't go in and go, "Oh, yeah."
That's why you hire these guys, Jimmy. That's his job.
But if it's something you really believe in, the owner can step in and say, he did it with Eli.
Well, why don't you get yourself an owner who's also GM, like Jerry Jones?
Like Jerry Jones never would have let Barkley. Or maybe he would have.
No, but then again, dude, kidding me? He let fucking DeMarcus Ware, speaking of 94, they let him walk and he won a Super Bowl the next year with Denver. It's
Jones is a terrible GM. He made one good trade, Herschel Walker, and he got 11 players, and they all made the Pro Bowl.
That was a Jimmy Johnson pick, by the way.
Whatever the hell it was. The Giants, they stink. I don't know. Now the Knicks, everybody, the brand new season. We are a quarter of the way through the NBA season, and the Knicks are on pace for a magical 49 games. And when you win 49 games, you know what happens, right?
You're in the playoffs.
You lose 5-1 in the second round of the playoffs. They're on pace for 49 games.
Not only the Knicks that bad, they also lose an additional game, according to Jimmy. There's 5 games in the first round that we lose to when it doesn't require.
I said second round. I said
doesn't even matter when the last time you had to go to a series and lose 5 games.
They gutted their heart and soul, and they got a bunch of guys running around.
You're crazy.
It's awful. Which brings us to, I got all kinds of shit on. ChasingMiracles.com. That's right, ChasingMiracles.com. Go to the website, talk to Tommy and Donna for these awesome stem cell patches, and there's going to be big news. They got a really cool product coming out. We're going to be talking about in the next month or so. This stuff is really good. It's non-invasive, stamina, energy. I wear them. My mom wears them. They got pain relief patches. These things work. No needles. And Dave, if they make you pee in the cup, what happens?
Well, I could tell you will pass a wellness test.
There you go. A wellness day here at Shea. I'm just laughing in the background. I got a Derek Jeter thing. He's not even he's like my 30th favorite Yankee. I mean, he's great, but like nobody gets it. You ever see someone wearing a number 2 jersey at Yankee Stadium? There's no respect there. But someone's wearing a Ruben Sierra shirt. You're like, that guy's awesome.
It's always the ones that you just don't forget.
Yeah. It's like, I'd rather see a guy with a Garrick shirt on. But anyway, ChasingMiracles.com here from the Omni. Check these things out. They're really good. Talk to Tommy and Donna. They are awesome. Shit your body needs here from Shea. Well, okay. Something happened to me this week. Again, everybody says we talk too much sports, so I'm going to try to change up. So I get a letter in the mail on Wednesday, okay, from my dentist. No, what do you call it on top of a letter?
Return address?
No, at the actual letter itself. No.
Header?
Like the thing that says the address at the top, whatever.
I just said a return address.
No, that's on the envelope. Talking about in the letter. Letterhead.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, no letterhead. It's like, "Dear James, we're going out of business. Try to go." Literally, we're going out of business. You should go to another dentist for your dental hygiene. It was like typed in like Natalie did it. I was like, what the fuck? And I said to myself, dentists don't go out of business. Usually
He's retiring.
They retire. No, she ain't that old. She's younger than me. Like, where you going? Like,
she's going to OnlyFans.
And you can't even have a letterhead. Maybe some suggestions of local. This letter was like something you would write, like, "Hey Dave, what time we doing the show?" I'm like, what is it? Okay, that's Wednesday. Thanksgiving, Friday morning. What happens to me?
You got to you chip your tooth.
Massive toothache. I still have it. Massive. I was in pain all weekend. I'm still hurting right now. I mean, how I'm talking right now. I got the Anbesol. I'm buying all this shit. I put the shit all over my. I couldn't
You
even
got Bell's
speak.
palsy going on.
Yeah, I got the Bell's palsy going on. So I'm playing pickleball, which we'll get to in a minute. And some goes, oh, this. So I finally get a doctor, and I got an appointment today at 3:00, and. The girl on the phone's going through. She's asking me questions. What's your profession? I just said actor. And she goes, oh, we don't have a patient actor. And I'm like, oh, and I'm in a bad mood. My tooth hurts. I'm like, yeah, an actor. And all of a sudden I said, I bet on Friends. I hear, you were on Friends. And she's talking. Other people are getting on the call. It's like, she's like, we remember that episode. I'm like, so she's all excited. I'm like, listen, I'm just a character actor. I'm a stand-up and I got a shitty podcast. I said, you know, I love saying that.
Could have found some new blood.
But we were talking. I said, no, I do. I didn't say shitty, but of course I did.
Yeah.
And we all know that. Look at some of the scores. But the so next she's like, meanwhile, I'm like, hey, listen, it's all great, but you're gonna fix my tooth on Tuesday. I was like, oh, what dentist? Now I feel like calling that. And the lady, my dentist actually live in Ramsey. I'm gonna see her at ShopRite and totally be a dick. And then I'm worried, like, is she a shitty dentist? Maybe they went out of business. Like, is she the Daniel Jones of dentists? Like, what? Maybe she went
to go do dentist work for a playoff team, like Daniel Jones.
She went to like a better, like, welcome to the worldwide dentistry of America. I don't know. What the fuck? You're supposed to die. Dentists just die. They don't, you know. And one of the lines said,
some of them die actually while performing.
That's fine. I would, if I'm like, I'll start here, boom. Oh shit! It's like,
he's a good run, you know. You never know.
Oh my god, makes me crazy. My mouth is killing me. But Thanksgiving, shout out. I know you had a nice Thanksgiving. Your dad was, I think your dad was sick with the vid.
Yeah, but we reconvened on Sunday, so it was all good.
There you go. Oh, good. We had it. My sister did a shout out to Mary Eileen Riccardi. She did an awesome job. She cooked the turkey kind of a newfangled way. It was delicious. We had a very awesome. I was with Natalie all day, which is the most important thing for me. And we had a traditional like Thanksgiving fair day here. It could have been 1934, and we still it was awesome. Turkey, the carrots, the potatoes, all the normal good shit that I don't normally eat.
My brother introduced me to over the weekend or on Thanksgiving. Old fashions, like the drink.
Oh, you don't know that? Oh, and Dave Sturcho is stumbling here at the 425 mark.
Here I am. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. You know,
did he put the bitters in? A little bitters in it?
Oh, yeah.
And did he mulch it? Put a little sugar in it? I know.
All of it, right? He did a bang up job. I take a sip. I'm like, ooh. I was like, you know, that's pretty good. You know, I was like, I'll probably have one. You know, one's fine. You know, like the Cowboys game, I'm like, Cooper Rush can't go ball.
Well, you remember?
I'm like, what the fuck happened? That was so fast.
Well, you know what happens when you drink bourbon. When I first started drinking bourbon, the guy told me, "Hey, watch out, your legs go." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "When you're drinking beer, you get up, you got to piss, you get up. Bourbon is only like that much of liquid, so you have 4 of them, and you're watching the game. You're not even, next thing you know, you go up to go to the bathroom, and that'll do it here. Your legs start getting wobbly with whiskey.
It was with Bullet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones. I love that.
Bullet and Jefferson's was the other one.
That's a good one too. Yeah, your brother was doing you right. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned day here at shit.
During the pandemic, my brother got me into the craft IPA beers and shit. And then eventually my brother's Mr. like, I got 4% body fat now. And I'm like, oh, good for you. I got 40%. You know,
well, you start sipping. Listen, the best drink, if you really want, if you're a complete degenerate, it's just vodka on the rocks because it's the least amount of calories. But or a Sauvignon Blanc, white wine for a quick 3. But now you start drinking bourbon, you got to watch, especially when you're on the road. Like, we're going out to what? And you have bourbon. Bourbon's good if you're home. If you go out, you're like,
I don't think I would ever chance it if I was just like,
no, you can't, because when you start watching the game, give me another one. Yeah, give me another one. And we are tied overtime. And Sturcho wants to talk it over.
Face down on the ball.
Face down here. And he missed the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. So, you got to watch with bourbon. That could bite you in the head. We had a great time. And then on Sunday, someone came up with the idea. Saturday, I did the barbecue thing. 5-degree weather outside, but then someone's like, "Oh, we're playing pickleball in the morning." So I look at my weather channel thing on my phone. I'm like, "It's going to be 21 degrees up here." No. You wear a jacket. They were busting my balls to go. So I show up. I look like I was at Killington, and there were people playing pickleball, and I was like, and they started to mock me. One thing you don't do. You don't poke the bear with me in pickleball. I was like, you want to see me play in this
Literally
jacket?
a polar bear, considering
I
how
was
cold it was.
freezing my ass off playing pickleball like a jackass. But
How many people drive by that actual like court that you're and it's the same line comes out of everybody's face if they see you playing pickleball. I'm like, look at this jerk off playing
fat fuck. I was wearing a ski jacket.
21-degree weather.
Yeah, I look like I probably look thin. I was wearing so many jackets. But anyway, so then I had to go to my mother's house. My mother hasn't been feeling well. She's got some eye issues, some shitty eye issues we're dealing with. So this is crazy. I go to my mother's. I had to do two, I think, for anybody who's got an elderly parent. My mother's 85. Her birthday was Friday, so happy birthday, Mom. I had to transfer her, I think her iPhone she got in 1977, and I had to transfer it to a modern one without the button on the bottom. Remember the ones that had the button on the bottom?
Oh, shit.
And I had to transfer her iPad, and I had to make sure that her desktop, iPhone, all this.
You're doing this.
Yes.
Yes.
With her, and plus,
I wouldn't do it.
Okay. You understand? My mother's phone, the screen was freezing. I tried everything.
No,
So
I get that part, but having you set it all up, I wouldn't.
No, I had to do it right in front of her and my mother takes notes. It's crazy. So I start doing it, and all of a sudden it was going really well. The transfer phone to phone. I'm like, all right. All of a sudden this thing flies up. Sorry, this phone's too old. The transfer will stop here. So it's like literally 4:45. I'm like, Ma, it's 3rd and 20. I don't have a play here. She goes, there's a Verizon store like 5 minutes away. So
you better bring your fucking bunk beds, bro.
I took the iPads, the iPhones, everything, my computer. I go to this Verizon store. There's 2 people working, and they each have a customer. And the lady says, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, I'm in a jam here. I think the older phone. She goes, yeah, we have to do it in the store. And then I say in front of the other customers, listen, please help me because you don't want my mother coming down here. If my mother comes here, I said, have you ever watched those like movies? Everyone dies. If my mother comes in here, it's guns a-blazing. It's like a bad Showtime movie. Everyone will die here if my mother enters the facility. So I had to wait around for a half hour while these 2 asshole customers were getting their shit done. Then I go in. Of course, I got my mother's credit card. Now I felt like the Yankees on signing day. I was like, the guy goes, "Oh, you need a screensaver." I'm like, "Yeah, yes, you do. You need that." Yeah, I'm calling up. I go, "Mom, I'm going to beat you up." She, I don't care. Just get it done. So I got it all done. I get home. Everything was like, it was a perfect day at Shea. Everything worked. Send an email from the phone, goes to the iPad, all that shit. iCloud bullshit. So we get done with that. Then my mother makes me hang this and makes me do this. And then she help me make the bed. I'm doing good son duties. I love
doing
my
chores. Is what you're doing. You're doing chores.
Listen, my mother's hobbling and a bad eye.
Sure.
I was loving every minute of it. She's awesome. But then we ate and we started bullshitting. And of course she was feeding me. Like my mother's no such thing as dieting at my mother's house. It's like, oh, I can make you a grilled cheese. I can make you tuna fish or egg salad. It's like, Ma, anything like you got lettuce around here? So then we start bullshitting about life, me and my mother, which we do quite often. And it's getting later and later. And then she wanted me to do one more thing. And next thing you know, and my mother's a night owl. I got to preface that. And so am I to a degree. Next thing you know, dude, I'm leaving Somerset. I got an hour and 10 minute ride. It's very late at night. It was like 1:45 in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God. So I got up, then I had to move stuff in the garage. So I get on the road. And I'm in my own world. I'm listening to I don't know, a podcast or something, or WFAN, learning about the games and shit. And all of a sudden, I look down and I see the low. I'm on 287, and I see the low fuel light on, and that might have been on the way to my mother's. I don't know. Then I looked at how many miles. I always reset the mileage thing, before when you fill up.
You're so
and I'm like,
old, bro. You are so
old. I know. So now I'm like. Wow, that's more mileage than I've ever really put on, right? So I don't know if you know anybody scoring at home. Where my mother lives and where I live, there's a stretch of 287 where I think they shoot Yellowstone. There isn't a fucking human being, a light. If you're gonna fall asleep behind the wheel and you get on 287, you are dead. There is nothing. There's no eye candy. You don't even drive by like, oh, look at over there to the far right. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. There's nothing but trees and a winding, and everyone's doing 100 miles an hour with big trucks on the road. So I start going, oh, shit, I got to get gas. I go 8 miles, no exit. Okay. And I'm like, wait, well, you got to get involved here. So I have to pull over and go on my Waze and just hit gas. Closed. It's Sunday night at 4 o'clock, 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Closed. And one says open 24 hours. And it was still on the way home. Because sometimes you hit it and it wants to send you back towards my mom's house. But I was like caught in the middle. I drive in, I get off the exit. Now I'm driving on these back roads. Now I am Kevin Costner right now. Okay. I'm driving around. I'm like, if I run out of gas here, I don't know what I'll do. Because my Bergen County people are 35 minutes away. And my family is 35 minutes. My sister called up in the morning. Oh, my God. I'll just sleep in my car and die of frostbite or something. So I go in. I get to the gas station, and it's all lightly burning. I'm like, closed with all the lights on. I was like, no way. Big locks on each thing. So then I hit the Waze again, and it sends me another like 4 miles wiggling around. Now I'm like, I'm going to run out of gas. I'm way high on the miles, right? So I end up getting all the way to Morristown. Now you figure Morristown, right? It's a big city, kind of. Not big city, a big town.
Yeah, my whole family. Well, a lot
there is, when I tell you, there wasn't, Dunkin' Donuts were closed. Krauser's were closed. There was nothing. So I pull into the Morristown diner. They're closed, okay? And I was like, what am I going to do? So I call up the Morristown police station.
Oh, my God.
I felt like I was 97 years old. I get this dispatcher. Can I help you? I go, look, I'm not from here. I said, I'm not in any emergency. So if you get a call, someone dropped dead or having a heart attack, please blow me off. It's okay. She goes, no. We're a little slow tonight. What can I help you? I'm like, I need gas, and I haven't seen a gas station in 45 minutes. He's like, where are you? I'm like, Morristown Diner. She goes, okay. She goes, here's what you do. Turn around the car, make a left, go past the circle, and go on. And next thing you know, I'm on these like someone else's like main street going through. And dude, there is nothing open, nothing. And I'm trying to tell her. She goes, I'll stay with you on the line in case you run out of gas. I'm like, well, what are you going to do if I run out of gas? She goes, I don't know. We'll deal with it happens. So she's talking to me. And of course she's like, oh yeah, how was your holiday? And I'm like, how's my holiday? My holiday's ending with me dead in Yellowstone. So there's no living human beings within sight of me right now. So next thing you know, she goes a little further, and it was literally like 11 minutes. I'm like, what the so now I'm yelling at her like, what's wrong with you people? You don't have gas stations open in
She's doing it out of the kindness of her heart. And
right, I'm yelling at
her.
So all of a sudden, I see a huge Shell station. Huge, right? Closed. I go, hey, lady, this one's closed too. She goes, no. Go a little further. There's a BP station. Finally, I see this BP station, poorly lit. I was like, I don't know. She goes, it's open. Trust me. You don't think cop cars need to fill up late? I go in there. She goes,
for Jerry.
So I pull in. No, she says, and you know those gas stations that look big, but they only have that little hut next, not the hut in between, like off to the side, like can't even get lottery tickets in there, right?
Right.
So I pull in. Nothing moves. Nothing's out. She goes, all right, get out of your car. She goes, yeah, you got to tap on the glass. He's sleeping. I'm tapping on the glass. Some guy's like, whoa. I said, hey, I need gas. Oh, sure. He looked like he was the bass player in one of those Grateful Dead cover bands, this guy. He comes out. He's like, oh, what's going on now? I'm like, I'm sorry to wake you. I'm in the middle of nowhere. He goes, you're not in the middle of nowhere. I go, yes, I am. There's no humans here. If I see like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'll be there. Of course they're here. And so now I'm like, hey, how do I get home? I can put it on my Waze, but like, where are we? He's like, you're 5 minutes from 287. So I filled up. I was comfortably up. And then what he says to me on the way out, he's like, hey, you should be a little more careful with your gas tank. Like that would be like if a team got beaten football 38-0, and the guy goes, hey, your offense got to put some more points on the board. I was like, I wanted to say, really, you fat fuck? So I get home so late. I was like, oh my God. And then as I'm driving, my tooth starts to hurt. So it's like, what is going on in my life? I have no gas. I'm like, and Paloma I definitely would have, you know what? If I was a catcher, I'll let the kid catch. You know what I mean? I am not playing this game. But anyway, so another thing is I realized that because I was always the youngest, I lived at home for a long time, blah, blah, blah. I always had parents to go to. I've never cooked a turkey. So like,
yeah, you said you were going to try to do that.
Next week, I butterballs. You can get a butterball. Next week is going to be turkey. By the time maybe I'll do it Monday. Next Tuesday show is going to be dedicated to my turkey. Maybe I'll do it live on the air. I'll try to do a GoPro and me cooking a shitty turkey. But you don't eat meat, so
what the people want to see, really. So
yes, that's what everybody's here to see. Me eating turkey. But of course, time for the most famous.
Finally, fuck. Well, we never get here.
Cornholelevel.com. I love your boredom on my show.
No, it's not boredom. I was waiting to show you my new song that I got for the fucking whole thing. I was
okay. Here we go. Cornholelevel.com. Go on there. Type in JP Show. The code now works, and now we're gonna do the NFL stinks list with Dave's new music.
Yeah, let's do it. It's playing.
I can't hear a thing.
This is
my God.
Nostalgia. NFL Prime Time.
That's it. Prime Time with Irv Cross and Pat Summerall.
It's Chris Berman and Tom Jackson.
So these are some of the new ones they have on samples. The Yankee one there I got now. So go to cornholelevel.com. Check them out. 20% off your entire order when you order, but not certain samples. NFL Stinks List. Listen, this might be my whole.
Awesome.
I love how the audio comes in and out like shitty. This is like AM radio in 1967.
Fine, you don't get no fucking music anymore.
No, let me hear it now. Put it on. All right, me and Dave look like the Ohio State Michigan game.
There we go.
I'm ready. I'm waiting for you to like plant a flag on my microphone here. The NFL Stinks List, Week 13. Buffalo Bills, very good. Dolphins stink. Jets, Patriots, sorry, you all stink. Pittsburgh Steelers, I got to bounce them back up. I gave them the VG. They were up and down, but I got to put a VG on them because the Steelers never stink.
It's true.
It's unbelievable. They don't win it, but they don't stink. Baltimore Ravens, I have as good. Bengals and Browns, you stink. Texans, I have as good. 8-5. You know, maybe they're on their way to something we don't know. The Colts have been upgraded to average. Titans and Jaguars, you both stink. Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, hit that Trevor Lawrence took.
Yeah, terrible.
Dude, they suspended him for 3 games.
That's a lot. It's
a lot because he's not
stupid.
He's a repeat offender. The guy just keeps being a dirtbag. Like he's like Von.
Yeah, that was a shitty hit, man.
Antonio Brown for it.
That's got to Antonio Brown. The Kansas City Chiefs. I know we texted. It's just
they're not even hiding it anymore that they want the Chiefs to win these fucking football games.
And you know, Antonio Pierce is 15 seconds ago. You're in field goal range. So if you kick the field goal, there'll be 10 seconds to go. Listen, I know Mahomes is a miracle worker. But with 10 seconds to go, you can almost squib kick it and you may burn. In other words, he's going to have minimum 10 seconds to go with no timeout. So the only way, if you get the ball to the 25-yard line, would be a 40-yard sideline pass. But you got to remember, he's got to drop back to pass.
Protect the sidelines. All you got to do is protect the sidelines. You're good.
Protect the sideline because once if he catches it, you just got to make sure you tackle him. Like, don't be like Rutgers, Illinois. But that's what you do. Then they do the snap. The poor kid had a great game. The quarterback brought him. And it's just they are the worst 11-1 team I have ever seen in my life. But you know what? What happens if they like the Knicks, they gel? And they don't score. I think they stink. But you know what? My nephew loves them. So what are you going to do? Chiefs, very good. Chargers, upgraded. No, I kept them at good. Denver Broncos, good. Denver's an interesting story there. Raiders, you stink 5 times over because you screwed up the end of the game.
I want the Chargers to win the AFC. That's my
root for the Chargers. How many games?
I love Jim Harbaugh. I know you don't, but like I love Jim Harbaugh.
If he wins, let me tell you something. If Harbaugh wins a couple rounds in the playoffs, this guy can coach, brother.
Look out.
NFC East. I got the Eagles at very good. I got the Commanders at average at 8-5. I still have the Cowboys at stinks, but if they win next week, they're on. They have a shot to be average. The Giants, please. Detroit Lions. Now this NFC North could be the best division in football. Lions, Vikings, and Packers. I all have them at very good. I think they're good. Packers really shocked me. They're good. And the Lions are good, even though they should have blown their game too. But I think those three teams are very good. Bears, what are you doing?
Dude,
Worst?
that might have been the worst blunder of time management that I've seen since
I
McCarthy.
think I think it's up there with the Eagle Giants in '78, the fumble Ruski with Pisarcek and Herm Edwards. That was, what are you doing? You had a timeout. Oh my God, awful! You got to fire a coach there. That's institutional.
They did fire the coach.
Yeah, they just said. I said you got it. I mean, I meant that like you had to. Wasn't, you know what I want to know? I wish there were a microphone in those up, in the booth with the offense. Wasn't someone going, whoa, 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 whoa?
My favorite thing, I was watching this reaction video on TikTok, right? And it was like you saw the game, half the screen was the game, the other half was the content creator trying to play by play watch it, right? And he's like watching it, and he's like, all right, it's a good completion. Let's get up, stop the clock. We have this and blah, blah, blah. He's watching it and he's like, what do they do? They're not okay, whatever. And then he goes, is this the last play of the game? Like, out of nowhere. He's like, he throws the ball down the puck.
And the pass, wasn't even the pass. He would have been tackled at the 5.
Done.
You had to, and I blame the assistant running backs coach. The assistant running backs coach's wife should be fired. Brutal. Atlanta Falcons average, Tampa Bay Buccaneers average, Saints, you stink. Thank you. My Saint fans, you know who they are. Carolina Panthers, you stink.
I got the Giants this week, so they're not going to stink much longer.
Yeah, well, we'll see. If you lose to the Giants, wow. And of course, my NFC West, which is the most exciting division because all 4 of them stink and anybody can win that division. And let me tell you something, NFL, I proved it with Eli Manning. If you get in the dance, you can win the Super Bowl. It's just, you got to get in the dance. So every one of those teams, I mean, shit, the Niners suck. By the way, McCaffrey looks like Peg Leg Bates now.
He's out. He's done. Done for the year again.
I think he's done forever. So I have 17 stinks. Come on, a calf. You see that one video? The calf like was wobbling around to his shin. Come on. Joe Theismann, School of Calves. The 17 stinks. Up from 15 from last week, 4 averages, 4 goods, but an all-time high. I did my research. All-time high, 7 very goods, but that will not last. We'll see what happens. The big news will whether or not the Cowboys can become average with a win next week. We shall see. So, of course, Janine Michaud, Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732. Oh, my God! 732-326-3937. Craig and Johnny in Woodbridge, down by the train station. They're opticians. They got all kinds of cool shit there. Charles Oakley shoots free throws in the backyard with them.
I gotta give you credit. You do always come up with something new for Charles Oakley to be doing there. Like, it's one thing for him to be there, but like now he's shooting free throws in the park, which is even better. So great. And now, listen, you will.
John Sterling's coming to Woodbridge Brewery. I got to get there. It's like
you would think, right? How do you? It's like it's like $80. You get a signed item and a picture or whatever.
I'm afraid I'll just start imitating him in front of him. Like, God,
you have to be there.
I gotta go. I know. I do. I really do. See if I get my bro. We'll all go together. So Absolute Eyewear, go check them out. They're the best. I finished Fargo, which is a great show, dude. You got to watch Fargo. 5 separate seasons. They're all different. It was awesome. Cobra Kai. I think Cobra Kai, the announcers should just say, that'll do it here. Final score. Cobra Kai 12.
It's a shame. It's getting a little crazy. Dude, like my wife fell asleep. She fell asleep during one of the episodes. All they do is woke up. Well, it's Cobra Kai, so they should.
But you don't fight for. Is there any dialogue? It's like, hey, Dad, how are you doing? And then they fight, even
without disclosing too much, because if people still want to go catch up, and you should, it's a decent show. But like, my wife fell asleep, and then she wakes up, and she's like, "Yeah, it's so weird. I had this dream that they put Danny LaRusso in a cage." I was like, "No, that was on the show."
It's just
it gets fucking weird, and I'm like,
and it's the same themes of like, oh, this guy's mad at this guy. After a while, it's like, oh my God, I couldn't stand. Listen, I love Ralph, buddy of mine, but listen, he's made millions of dollars off this. Awesome, and it was fun for a while. But like all TV shows, that'll do it here. I also want to talk about 2 things. Really quickly, Black Friday. Anybody thinks the economy is doing poorly? Did you go to a mall? I was at a mall Black Friday with 3 teenagers.
That is the
Okay.
I would rather go to hell than go to the mall on Black Friday.
Listen to me very
mine.
In about 10 years from now, we'll be doing show number 1100. Stella, is going to come down. You'll be sitting there. Dad, can we go to, we want to go to the mall, me and my friends. And you go. I dropped them off in the front, the parking lot. I parked in Connecticut, and it was cold out, flurries.
What are you doing going to the mall?
I had to. I brought my computer. I went to a shitty Starbucks inside. They were there for 3.5 hours. It was all kinds of people.
You should be telling your daughter, like, hey, you can go to the mall any day ever, except this day.
Dude, they're off Black Friday. You have no idea. You are the most poorly equipped head coach for your children when they get older I've ever seen. You're gonna be like, we're gonna run the ball. Dad, can we pass? Yeah. Go deep. Like because you love your children.
You know what?
You're gonna try to be.
You know what? I gotta give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to my daughter because she had her very first holiday bazaar at the school. So I sent her $25 cash, right? And she came home with this little football for me.
Listen to me. You can never throw that out.
I cried for 10 to 15 minutes, but I was like, then she goes, I got this for you, Dad, because you love football. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Dude, that's got to be on your desk. If you ever get rid of that,
on my desk at my house. It's
40 years from now, you're going to remember. My daughter's done stuff like that. I still got it.
I love fucking mess.
That's awesome.
It was a mess.
Awesome.
But hey, shout out to Stella for being a bargain basement shopper.
That's it.
I gave her $25. She came back with 10. And I was like,
oh, wait a minute. You got to watch that too.
That's what I said. I was like,
she's gambling. Was she bet the Knicks? What is she doing here?
It's like,
and Stella with the cover.
You paid for this, right? Making sure you're not just like swiping shit off the shelf.
She said, "Oh, Dad, I just had to kiss a boy. Gave me a little football."
Trust me. When she I'm going to pick her up in like 20 minutes. When I see her and she gets out, she always runs to me. But as soon as she runs to me and hugs me, immediately it's like the world wants to say goodbye to this girl. Like she's the fucking mayor, and it's driving me nuts because it's great because Can I tell you what's going to happen in the fourth quarter of this nice little game you're running here?
Your daughter's going to get in the car, shut the door, go on her phone, and not even acknowledge your existence.
I know.
One day I said, "Hey, Nat, the car drives like I do that. Like I'm driving the car. Like they get in the car as if they're getting on a subway. Like she gets in the car, like, next stop. Like it's unbelievable." And Dad, I'm not having a good day. Well, did you ask me about my day? I just did anyway. I also a quick shout out for the 11th time. Dave Sturt Show has once again is doing his own podcast now, which I'm excited about. I listened to the pilot episode. It's called what is exactly?
Turn my mic up.
What? Turn the mic up.
Turn my mic up.
Turn my mic up.
Yeah.
Look at it. Go for it. Look at it on Apple. It's audio only. I've been telling Dave for a year now, dude. I'm a big fan of Mike Francesa's podcast in that it comes on after a big event, after the Giants or Jet game, Yankees, whatever. And listen, he could be a pompous ass, but you get to hear his opinion on stuff. And it's like fresh. It's and he waits for the presser and all that stuff. And I said, Dave, that's what you got to do. You're good at that. Just start talking. And it doesn't have to be an hour, not produced. Just you, microphone, go. And I think you had to do a little setup in the pilot, of course.
Yeah.
Which you have to do that.
I do that. I do that simply because if you really don't know who I am, it's like, who the fuck is this guy and why is he talking? You know what I mean? Like,
you got it.
I have to. And
I look forward to.
That'll be reactionary. It'll be informative. It'll be topical.
And if you listen to me, it will not be once a week. There could be weeks where you do 3 of them, 10-minute shows, or you could have once a week. It could be once. You may not do one for 10 days if Cowboys get eliminated or something, whatever. But there's always some kind of big news event, and also like. Your daughter with the football. You bring that in as well. I think you're going to be good at it. And so, turn up my mic. Is that what it is exactly?
Turn my mic up.
Turn my mic up. See,
yeah, as if I have nobody's turning it up because it's low. So now turn it up, and now that's me.
Turn my mic up, day here, Jay.
Or as the Pope said once upon a time.
Put my mic on.
You remember that?
I do.
You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
That was legendary.
Classic.
Legendary.
But of course, if you're a drunk, go to Pine Tar Bar and Grill, 121 South Main Street, Fork and River. My buddy Tommy's Bar, 609-489-4286. Best sports bar in America. Also, if you're feeling like shit, holidays getting you down. Well, I should say half the world's feeling like shit. Well, everybody should call Lisa. Lisa Ruane, 201-725-1251. Therapist. She does hypnotherapy, all kinds of stuff. Just give her a call, and she'll even guide you where to go if you need to go somewhere else. Well, listen, I think that's it. I covered everything. Giants stink. Knicks stink. Rutgers, we'll see.
Rangers are actually kind of stinking right now.
I helped serve through Thanksgiving. I get credit for that. I was out 4 games out into Thanksgiving. We're still just 4 games out. Plenty of time here, Shay. And that's it. I got to go get my tooth fixed, and you got to go get your daughter. Jimmy Palumbo Show. Good evening, good night, and big shout out to all my people that are chiming in on the comments. Love you.
Appreciate you guys. Good night.